Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to check the combo set from ICM. This one is made in 1/35 scale, and here we get actually truck and figurines together. This is something what I was saying initially, that it would be good to have this Montgomery's office together with stuff. So here finally you get them combined together, and this is a kit 35604, so it should be already available and you can get it in Modelimax webshop. And what we are talking here, it will not change, so that's the final shape of the release. And as you can see, it's quite a hefty box, it's heavy, and the box size is quite standard for the truck releases, but the weight is quite surprising. And we have quite nice box art here. Then here on the side you can see also some information. There is 436 parts for assembly of this Leyland Retriever truck, 31 parts for assembly of 4 figurines, and the assembled truck will be 202 millimeters long. Here on the opposite side you can see, let's say, the marking guide for all of these items which are included into this box, but I guess we will talk more about this when we will be checking the assembly manual inside. And the whole box is sealed with the tape, so I'm going to cut through it and we will take a closer look at the parts. Again, I remind you that both kits, meaning the truck and the figurines, they were released as the separate sets. So in case you are watching this YouTube channel, you might have seen it earlier, but today they are combined into one box, and in case you haven't seen them, then definitely continue watching. But even if you saw them, check this video review as well, because there might be some surprises from ICM as well. So first of all, we have kits, meaning the truck and figurines, separated into 2 plastic bags. Here is the first one, and the second one is on the bottom of the box. As usual, these are resealable plastic bags, so they should be quite easy and quick to open. You probably can hear it, and I will do it right now so that we can take a closer look together. Give me a second, because there are a lot of separate plastic bags which are specific for this version of the truck. And I also wonder when we will see the next versions of this Leyland Retriever. But here, for example, in the separate plastic bag, we had the clear parts. So here you can see them, and they are looking quite nice. I would say it's a typical ICM quality, so you shouldn't be worried. And because they are packed separately, so they shouldn't be scratched as well. Next, we also have the windows for the rear section for the so-called office. So I'll show it in a second. I will show you only one sprue because there are 3 of this type. And as you can see, these are also quite nice transparencies. And I do not remember if there were actually masks included for this part, so we will have to check the assembly manual. But obviously if they are not, then you have to cut your own stickers and cover all of these windows. But this is a must do, because otherwise you will end up with a really strange paint finish. Next, we have quite unusual bonus for ICM at least. So as you can see, this is unpainted PE fret. Here we have the radiator grille. We also have some badges for the truck brand. So this is really cool. It is definitely a handy thing in a 1/35 scale. So be sure to apply them on your truck. And now I'm looking at the first gray plastic sprue. So here, as you can see, we have the frontal panel, or the firewall, which is combined together with the frame for the windscreen. We also have here the rear section, I guess, of the tarpaulin, but I think this one will not be used. Or maybe this can be actually the roof section, but I'm not sure if the office truck version actually had it. So we will have to check the assembly manual as well. Here we continue with more parts for the front cap. So I'm going to zoom out, and now you can see here these 2 large chassis bars. They're molded together with the leaf springs here. We also have the roof here and the wheel fenders. And also we have some separate parts which can be installed on the truck. By the way, here you can see the radiator grille, so as you remember, it will be enhanced with PE parts. And this is the most visible part on the truck, I would say, so that's why it's really nice of ICM to include the PE parts in the standard package. And I will flip over this part just to show you what is hidden here on the opposite side. Not that many features, but there are some guiding elements which will help you with overall position. Next, we continue with vinyl tires. These are the typical parts, so that's why I'm not even opening them. And as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts here. Actually, it's 7 even, because we have the spare wheel as well. And as you remember, this is a 3-axle vehicle. Next, we have the parts for the office. So here, as you can see, we have a bit more solid roof. We also have the wooden panels, and everything looks rather nice. If I flip over this plastic sprue, as you can see, the roof panel also has some features inside, which is a really nice touch because, well, in assembled version, I think you can open one of the doors and you can show what is inside, because there are also some interior things included. So that's why it is very handy thing that the roof is not harshly detailed. Next, sprue is supplied in 2 pieces. Here we have the wheel rims and also some thin bars for the, I guess that's the rear section as well, but for the cargo version. I'm not sure if they will be used in this office version of today's kit. Next, we have the engine and the gearbox. So just like any other ICM kit, they do not skip on this feature. It is included here, and it can be exposed with a bit of the modification on the original plastic. And I think that's also a handy thing in 1/35 scale. Another sprue which is supplied in 2 pieces is this one. It's the frame T. And here we have the mud guards. We also have supports for the storage boxes. We also have the curtains for the windows, which are in the folded position. I'm just holding the sprue in a different position or placement, so here they are. And that's also a good thing because, well, with some painting, they will look quite nice. And they're molded together with the buckles, by the way. Next, we have the wooden walls. And I guess those are the interior inserts. So that's why if I flip over them, as you can see, we have only these pin marks, and that's pretty much all. As for the external walls, you'll see them further in this video. Next, we have also some of the storage boxes and interior things which will be installed in this truck. One more plastic sprue is with those exterior panels which I was mentioning. As you can see, we also have some pre-molded features, so if I zoom in, you can see what I was talking about, and this is definitely a thing which is worth picking out on the finished model. We have the separate doors here, so you can expose what is inside, and here you can see that those 2 panels should be combined with interior ones, which we saw just a few seconds ago. Next, we have another wooden panels. So I guess the previous tarpaulin parts will be, if they will be used, they will be used for the front cap, but here you can see that everything is quite solid for the office. And next, we have one large plastic sprue. That's the last one for the truck. But here we have various suspension parts. We also have the wheel axles here. The steering wheel is there. Everything looks nice. I'm just a bit confused because here, for example, the headlamp cases, as you can see, they're slightly bent, but that's again because all of the frames are just packed together, so that's why it's something you cannot avoid. And here we have a bit tighter package because of the one more extra sprue, so that's why we have such, let's say, an effect. And next we continue with one more plastic bag. This one is dedicated to the figurines. So as for the figurines, those are standard 1/35 scale design, I would say. So as you can see, we have the separate legs, hands, and one-piece head. Here, for example, in this case, it is molded together with the head. And all poses are predefined. They're pretty much standing, all of them. But at least you can play a bit with these surface features, because as you can see, they are nicely sculpted. And let's not forget that this is the standard plastic package. It's not a resin figurine or else, and you still get a really nice things on the uniform. I'm just checking what is actually printed in decals. Here they are. And as you can see, printing quality is quite nice. We even have photos of some generals, German generals, I guess. And they will be placed probably inside. But that's a really nice touch, especially considering the fact that you can show what is inside. So it will not be hidden on the finished or assembled kit. Next, we continue with assembly manual. So this one is the same as what we saw in the already. So if I zoom out, you can see it's the same brochure. Even the kit number here is the same. And next we continue with the parts map for the truck. Here you can see the insert for the figurines. Again, the same paper which was on the original release, but we have here also the map, which might be handy for one of the figurines as far as I remember. Here we continue with the parts map on the next page for the truck. More of the sprues on the separate pages. And here we have, I wonder why it is actually done so big, because they could have made it a bit smaller and then it would have taken less pages, but it is like it is here. Maybe it can be useful for some older modelers with a bad eyesight. So assembly process starts with the chassis. As you can see, it's a matter of combining separate bars together, and the fitment should be quite easy because, I mean, the alignment and the fitment, because there are special guiding elements. Next we continue with an engine and gearbox. So it should be quite detailed, well, surprisingly detailed for a standard option. So that's why it might be worth considering on how to paint and weather it, and maybe even expose it on the finished model. Here we continue with the drivetrain, and we assemble even the wheels here. Obviously, the spare wheel, it might be worth checking on how to install it later, on the later stages. Next we start assembly of the front cab, and here you can see how it will be actually getting together. And we have the P parts mentioned here, for example. Next we continue with the stowage boxes, and we start building the office compartment. So there are a lot of panels getting together, as well as the interior parts with these seats and the closets, as far as you can see. We install the windows here. Next we continue with more parts from the opposite side. Here we have also some table lights. And this is quite a packed assembly, I would say. It might be worth thinking on how to paint the separate items in advance, because in some cases it will be easier approach than just trying to paint everything all at once while glued together, because in some cases it will be really hard to reach certain elements. But here, as you can see, we still continue with the rear section, and only on the step 180 it gets installed onto the main chassis. And that's still not all, because you get to install more components on the front cab. And here you can see also the entrance ladder. So you can choose two options, whether with the open entrance and retracted tent, or with the closed for the transport position. Then you also have the carpet, which you can place inside, as you can see here. And next we continue with the first two marking options. So you can pick whatever you would like to. Here's the third one, because you can still use them with the figurines as well. But overall, I think it's a really great hobby, and for this scale in our hobby, it might be actually a good choice, so that you can build a full diorama. Just add the diorama base and you'll be good to go. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.